Hello everyone and welcome to this new video. Today we're going to talk again about the Veymax Mini Monster Neo. This is not a review but the first episode of a mini-series where I will gradually modify the Mini Monster Neo. Why modify the board? The Mini Monster Neo is a fantastic board for everyday use and very well designed. If you've watched my review, you already know that. However, if you follow my channel, you know I like to be able to slide with my boards. This point is generally not compatible with mini boards because they are too high, not powerful enough, or have wheels that are not suitable for slides. On the original version, while I didn't lack power, I had a lot of trouble making it slide because the board is very high and the cozy wheels grip a lot. Are you ready to see if my modifications will actually change the board's behavior? Follow me in this video to find out. As you've understood, the goals of this video are to lower the board and have easier wheels for sliding. This way, the center of gravity will be lower, making it easier to control the Mini Monster Neo during slides. Of course, having slide wheels will make balancing during slides much simpler. Before making any changes, let's look at the height of the board to compare the gains, or rather the height loss, before and after. For the wheels, I chose BOA wheels 90mm in 83A. These are wheels that are excellent for sliding and with which I have already ridden a lot. In reality, my wheels are less than 90mm, probably 85 or 80mm. With this wheel change, the height of the board is now 13.5 centimeters. Since my wheels are smaller than 90mm, there isn't much clearance between the driver and the belt, which could touch the ground at times. I think that in a future upgrade, it might be necessary to switch to a 36T driver with an associated belt to leave more margin between the wheel and the driver. We gained a little height, but it's still not enough. The Veymax Mini Monster Neo has huge pads under the trucks. These allow riding with 105mm wheels while avoiding wheel bites. In this case, no need for pads anymore. The much smaller wheels don't risk touching the deck, which is another height gain. I removed the pads, but I discovered that the rear pads also hold the motor cables, so there's a potential risk of damaging them. I did some tests and saw that since the cables are very rigid, there's no risk of them moving and touching the motors. With the pads removed, my Mini Monster Neo now measures 12 centimeters, which is a reduction of 2.5 centimeters. I'm quite happy with this size reduction. I think I can still improve it with 80mm wheels, but that will require changing the drivers and belts first. While riding, I find that I feel much safer being lower. Personally, I'm not completely comfortable when riding in the original setup on a short, high board, even though it's never really been an issue. The board turns the same as before, and I've never experienced wheel bite despite removing the pads. Another benefit of the smaller wheels, the Mini Monster Neo now has even more torque but a bit less top speed. Regarding slides, I had to get used to sliding on such a short deck. I started with gloves down slides, but I found that the board was still a bit high for that. However, it's much easier than with the original setup. Once I got used to the behavior of the wheels and the board, I gradually started doing stand-up slides, which became bigger and bigger. That's how I ended up doing only stand-up slides and feeling quite comfortable with it. In short, it's a very pleasant surprise, beyond what I expected, and the modification is a success. As you've seen, this Mini Monster Neo is full of potential. I still have several ideas for modifications, and if you have any suggestions, feel free to share them in the comments. That's all for this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. See you soon on the road.